It's Monday morning. After a late night doom scrolling on TikTok, I wake up late and decide to skip my 8 a.m. class. I scroll on TikTok some more and barely make it in time to my 9 a.m. class, thinking about how one day I'm going to become successful. Later that day, I opened up LinkedIn and I saw that someone in my class got their dream job. My stomach sank. I knew I was pretty smart, and why wasn't I achieving my dreams? Deep down, I knew the answer. I was wasting my potential. Just a couple years ago, that was a typical day in my life. I was coasting through college, doing the bare minimum. I got good grades and I had a decent resume, but I didn't have the huge success story or dream job or internship that I always wanted for myself. And I kept telling myself that my time would come. But the truth is, it never did. Nothing changes unless you change. If I didn't fix my life, I would have grown old, continued to be mediocre, and died, wondering what I could have been. Most students in college live their lives like this. But this doesn't have to be your story. The very fact that you're watching this video means that you're an ambitious person. You're ready to level up. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I fixed my life and how you can fix yours too. And after following this 3-step blueprint, you will be completely unrecognizable in just 90 days. Step 1. Cut out the distractions. We live in the most distracted generation of human history. And here's the thing. You might think it's harder than ever to succeed because there's so many distractions pulling you in all of these different directions. But by that same logic, it has never been easier to succeed because everyone else is also experiencing those same distractions. So if you can learn to just focus, you will instantly separate yourself from 90% of the people your age. So how do you cut out the distractions? It's actually quite simple. And I'm willing to bet that you already know what habit is holding you back. Maybe it's binge eating, maybe it's video games, maybe it's doom scrolling. But whatever it is, let's focus on that one habit. After all, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So let's fix our worst habit. Something that I learned from the book The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg was that all habits follow a simple pattern. There is a cue, there is a routine, and then there is a reward. For example, I used to have the bad habit of playing video games, and my cue was feeling bored. And every time I felt bored, what I would do is I would play video games, and then I would get the reward of leveling up in the game. Now, we can't necessarily get rid of that cue of boredom, right? So to solve this bad habit, what we have to do is attack the routine. We have to replace the routine with a different behavior to replace the habit. So I decided to replace the habit of video games with going to the gym. So now whenever I felt that cue of boredom, I would instead go to the gym, and then I would experience the reward of progressing in the gym, lifting heavier weights and seeing progress and leveling up in the gym. And because the rewards are kind of similar, they satisfy the same craving. So that's why I was able to really effortlessly switch that habit of playing video games into going to the gym. Now, trust me when I say this, that video games to gym transition literally has a 100% success rate. And it doesn't just apply to video games. You can use this strategy to get rid of literally any bad habit. And one by one, you can start replacing all of your bad habits with new habits that build you up into a better person. And once you finally start to get rid of these distractions, you will finally, for the first time in your life, have the mental space to ask yourself what you truly want in your life. Most people never even get to this stage because they're so busy just spending their lives distracting themselves. But that's not going to be you. You are ready to take back control of your life. Step 2, find your mission. Most college students are lost. If you asked your average college student why they're doing what they're doing, they wouldn't be able to give you a proper answer, especially if you grew up with immigrant parents. You likely picked the major that your parents wanted. You're probably chasing a career that you don't actually care about, and you're living your entire life just to make your parents proud. But deep down inside, you feel empty inside. You don't feel excited to wake up every single morning. And because of that, you cope with weed, with video games, with junk food, with Netflix. These are all just forms of escapism, and you're escaping from a life that you didn't even choose to begin with. I saw this happen all around me in college. There were so many smart, talented, ambitious students who ended up just smoking every day, drinking and partying 3 to 4 times a week. And this was justified because they thought it was fun and social. But let me ask you, do you actually have fun when you party? Would you hang out with the same people if you weren't drinking and smoking? For me, the answer was no. And most people don't even realize that they're escaping from reality because everyone else around them is doing it too. The fact is, most people can't bear the reality of just how shitty their life is. And I fell for it too. I wasted much of my college years just coping and living this mediocre life. And by the time we all graduated, these students were just doing the same things, being degenerates, drinking, smoking, and partying. But what nobody tells you until you get older is that once you graduate, it's no longer cool to be that degenerate partier. In fact, people start to look down on you with pity. And that could be you too, unless you decide to take that next step and find your mission. What's actually cool is chasing your dreams. A man needs a mission, a reason to wake up in the morning. So you need to set a goal. And it needs to be clear, specific, and actionable. Don't just say, I want to get fit. Most people want to get fit, but most people are not fit, right? You need to set a specific goal of, I want to lose 2 pounds this month, and I will do it by tracking my calories every single day. If you want to get a higher score on your MCAT, you need to set the goal. I will study 1 hour every single day by doing MCAT practice questions from this question bank. Those are the type of specific goals that you can actually act on. And then once you have your goal, write it down and stick it up on your wall or somewhere where you can see it every single day. Some people like to put it on their phone lock screen. That works too. Just somewhere where you can see it every single day. I like to put it up on my bulletin board. So this is right next to my bed. So I see it every time I enter and leave my room. And the next thing you need to do is make some progress towards that goal every single day. And after 3 months, you'll be surprised at just how much progress you will make towards that goal. Now, once you have a real mission to work towards, something interesting starts to happen. And this only happens if you've completed the steps in order. So first, you've cut out your distractions, and then you've set your clear, actionable goal. Something new starts to happen. Your choices and actions start to automatically change on their own. If your goal was to lose 2 pounds, suddenly going out to eat isn't as tempting anymore. Or if your goal is to get into medical school, you're not going to want to skip your 8 a.m. class that much. And if you want to start a business, suddenly doom scrolling on TikTok is not going to feel that productive. It's going to feel like a waste of time. When you have clarity in your purpose, the discipline will come automatically. And it's not because you're forcing yourself or doing anything crazy. It's because you actually care. Step 3, stay consistent. A lot of people can cut out the distractions and stick to a mission for a couple weeks. But to truly escape mediocrity forever, you need to stay consistent. This is where most people fall off because you won't see the results immediately. You'll be grinding and you'll be showing up, but you'll start to wonder, has this guy been lying to me this whole time? Is this all even really worth it? And I promise you it is, but you have to stick with it. And the reason is because success is not linear. For most things in life, things are pretty linear. The amount of input that you put in is directly correlated to the amount of output that you get. However, success doesn't work that way. It looks more like a J curve where you show up, you consistently grind, you're consistent, you're consistent, you're consistent, and eventually you'll get all the results at once. And most people actually quit before they even see any meaningful results. So you have to stay consistent. Another way to think about this is that there's a delay between your effort and the results that you see. And this delay is at least a couple months. So whatever results in life that you're seeing right now is the result of whatever effort you put in like 3 months ago. So you're not working hard for any instantaneous result. You're working hard for your future self. Your future self is counting on you to show up and put in the work. And if you followed the last two steps, you're going to want to put in the work. Just be careful though, because the moment you start seeing some positive results in your life, that's when you'll start feeling the temptation to quit. You have to remember, don't forget what got you here. Any results that you get is the result of a previous version of yourself's hard work. If you ever decide to quit, then you're robbing your future self of the success that he deserves. And after about 90 days of consistency, your entire life will change. Your mind will be more clear. You'll be happier. People will start to respect you more. People will want to be your friend. People will want to hire you. People will want to date you. And it's not just because of the habits. It's because you formed a completely new identity. You have officially become a better version of yourself. And I've noticed that this takes about 90 days to fully occur. But there are things you can do to make it come even faster, because the actual things that you change about yourself don't take 90 days to change. It takes 90 days for the rest of the world to catch up with what you've been doing. So if you do something drastic in your life, like move to a new location or change your appearance, like what I did with my hair, or you could change the way you dress or start hanging out with different people. It has the same effect as creating that new identity for yourself. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, congratulations. You have officially begun the transformation into becoming the best possible version of yourself. In just 3 months or less, you will completely fix your life and escape mediocrity forever. I just want you to remember the 3-step framework. First, cut the distractions. Second, find your mission. And third, stay consistent. I'll see you next time.